I'm Tammy Arender, and this is LA Rider. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, there are a couple of airports on or near it, but Airline Highway actually got its name from something else. TW takes a drive down this once thriving 4-lane corridor and stops at one of her favorite places.
It was Saturday morning, and Brian Niebuhr and I headed south on US 61 between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Before the days of interstate highways, this was the main thoroughfare between the two cities. Built in the late 30s and early 40s to replace the somewhat meandering Jefferson Highway, it was called the Airline Highway because it was relatively straight and the shortest distance between points. In the days of railroad travel, a flat, straight track was called an airline, hence the name Airline Highway. In the 1950s, this was the longest 4-lane toll-free highway in the world and a bustling commercial corridor. Today, however, the Airline Highway between New Orleans and Baton Rouge is lightly traveled, making it a perfect highway for a Saturday morning motorcycle ride. During its heyday, this highway was once dotted with numerous roadside attractions, including a number of great drive-ins and diners, places where you could get a home-cooked meal and an old-fashioned burger and fries with a creamy shake or a root beer float. While most of those places are long gone, one still thrives, and that's where Brian and I were headed.
Well, it's lunchtime, and as usual, I'm starving. So I'm stopping at one of my favorite places, the Frostop, for one of my favorite things in the world, a root beer float.
I've long been a big fan of the Laplace Frostop and its authentic drive-in cuisine. Built in 1958 by Morris Terry and now operated by daughter Evelyn and her husband Jimmy Toller, along with their daughter Terry, stepping up to the counter at the Laplace Frostop is like stepping back into time. Yes, you can still get a Lotta burger and a creamy root beer float served up in a frosted mug, but today there's something new on the menu that combines a great Southern tradition with a special taste of New Orleans. Today, along with my burger, root beer float, and onion rings, I was having a side of fried green tomatoes topped with Crawfish Monica.
The fried green tomatoes topped with Crawfish Monica. It is delicious. It's our tomatoes in our onion ring batter, which everybody loves. It's famous, so we knew that would be a hit. And then Crawfish Monica is actually a dish made in New Orleans. We don't actually make that you get at Jazz Fest. So we finally found out where we could buy it. And so we just brought the tomatoes in. We're going to do that. And I said, let's put those two things together. We were going to do pasta, which we will do with it. I said, let's just top it. It would be great. And it took off.
Frostop has always been one of my favorite places to eat, but now that they have fried green tomatoes on the menu, I'll be here even more often.
Today, only a handful of the original Frostop drive-ins survive, but it's easy to see why the Laplace Frostop is thriving. Good food, friendly service, and a menu that offers a little something extra. In South Louisiana, we call that lagniappe. For LA Rider, this is TW.
Well, Well, TW tells us that the word airline was once a synonym for beeline. So if you want some great roadside food, make a beeline on the airline to Frostop. Stay with us. There's much more LA Rider.